Hello everybody. Welcome to today's stream. I hope you guys are excited. I'm sorry I'm starting at 3 instead of 2. I just had some things that I figured would run late today, and they did, so kind of found that. And I'm sorry for not being able to do last week's stream. It was my wedding anniversary, so I was kind of chilling with my husband then. But today we are back on stream for a reading journal setup, which I am very excited for. I've kind of been waiting all week to do this. I wanted to start it, and so yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, so I got my reading journal. Ooh, also, before we get into it, I did go to the farmer's market today, and there was a lovely artist selling her stickers, so I got some. So I got these cute butterfly ones with mushrooms, and these planet ones. So I think She may have an Etsy, I'm not sure, but it looks like turtleandbirch.com if you guys want to look for these stickers. I just wanted to show those off real quick because they're cute and they excite me. Okay, reading journal setup. Okay, so our reading journal setup will be the same as August's theme, and since you guys are my lovely streamers, you joined me here, not streamers, my Twitch watchers, whatever, you guys joined me here on stream, I will show you the cover page of August right here. And my theme for August is going to be green. It says right down here, a month of green. So, for our reading journal setup, we will be continuing that month of green theme. Haha, let's set this there. So, let's get to next open area. Usually my reading journal setups are just about 2 pages. And instead, for today, I think I'm doing a 3-page design. So I'll have, essentially I'll have this page with a bunch of green circles to kind of write in how many pages I read each day. And then I'll have my August reads on this side. And then I'll have a 3rd page that will be a TBR list, so that when I go to the library and I want more books, I know which ones I want to pick out. For our materials for the day, I have this canister that has a huge variety of all my green markers and pens. I had more in here, but I used half of it for my monthly setup, and so the other half is going to be used in this setup, so I'll try to use a variety. I also have a variety of stickers here, so I got some random ones. This is from Paperage, which came with my red notebook. You also get like kind of this little sticker sheet with the Electrum 1917 ones, and a couple other random ones from Happy Planner. These ones I got from L.I.L Crate, and you can color on them, so I'm going to color them green for funsies and all that jazz. So that's fun. Cool. Sorry, my stream froze for a second on my end. Wanted to make sure it was still working. And yeah, so I got all my green stickers. And then I also have this stencil because I'm going to be using these lovely circles here. And I've been also going through all my green washi tape and trying to use all of it. So some of it got used for my August setup, and then some will be used in here, so these 3. And then of course I have scissors and a ruler. So, yeah. Let's get started into this. So this side is just going to be a bunch of green bubbles. So let's get going. I'm going to take these 2, and I'll just switch between these 2. Ooh, how many days are there in August? I want to double check. I don't know if I muted in time to stop that sneeze. I'm sorry if you guys heard me sneeze. There are 31. Okay, 31 circles it is. So I'll do 15, 16. Sounds good. I'm just gonna do a bunch of circles, so hopefully they'll all fit on this page. If not, I'll have some room here. But yeah, let's do this. Unfortunately, this circle stencil doesn't go all the way through, and this pen's being weird. That's fine. But yeah. I'm smearing things. I need to be a little slower, more careful. I'm sorry. But you know, my spreads are always going to be messy, and that's fine. Yeah. So let's do some chatting now, while I'm setting this up about reading, because it is a reading journal setup. Is this pen leaking? Okay. I'll worry about that later. Just get some ink off. Okay. So let's talk about my July reading. I had high hopes for July. I thought I was going to be able to read a whole lot more than what I did. I will admit that. Because I was like, oh, I'll read through all these books and I'll get so many at the library and it will be amazing. And it wasn't that. It was still amazing. I had a good time reading. I kind of went into a slump. So, basically, I finished my cute library books, which was, I think it was a Constellation of Roses, right? Okay. Here, we'll pull this out. This is my book reviews, and it tells me which ones I read in July. So, I finished Forget Me Not on the 1st, so we'll start there. Forget Me Not was a short and easy book, and that was on my TBR, so that was an easy read. I'm happy I was able to finish it and get it done. It was like a nice one that I'll pick up and read again when I just need like something to brighten my day. So I did like that. Pretty easy read. Then we had Daughters of a Dead Empire, which is a library book that I read. So it technically wasn't on my TBR, but I wanted to read it. Two more, okay. And I really liked that. That was a good one. It was an Anastasia retelling, and I liked it because it didn't focus on romance, which is pretty good. And it was very much like it wasn't retelling the story of just what happened with the bolt. Like, most Anastasia retellings are like, okay, here's it from like right as the Bolshevik Revolution started, here's them going to the very low place, this is how Anastasia escaped death, and that type of thing. This one didn't focus on that as much. It focused on the aftermath, where she's like, okay, now I'm actually actively running from Bolsheviks, and how do I get out of the country and stuff. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Wait, hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. So I really like that with the book. There was a cute little romance at the end, which is good. And it also showed like both sides of the story. Because most of the time you just see Anastasia's side and she's the whole victim, but we also got, she was getting assisted by someone who was a Bolshevik. Like, a part of the revolution and part of the Red Army, and they're like, oh my gosh, how am I helping you? You're literally the worst. And you got to see kind of both sides of the revolution and how people struggled. So I liked that a lot. This lighter green isn't bleeding as much. So, I really like that about that book. That was a library book. Then I finished A Constellation of Roses on July 6th. So that's like 3 books in like the first week, essentially. Which was pretty... I don't usually get as many done as that many books done. So I was very happy that I got a lot done. And I was kind of in a big reading mood, so 10 out of 10 for me. But I like The Constellation of Roses. That one, it got me in the feels a lot. Like, it hit me hard with the emotions and everything. Emotional book. It's also a great book about growth and kind of learning to deal with trauma and anything you're going to, and like living with like memories. And what I also love so much about it is like, okay, it focuses like the main character, she's a foster kid and she gets sent to her aunt, and I love her aunt so much because her aunt never once was like, you're a bad kid. Like, this girl literally had the power to steal from people and not get caught, and never once did this aunt like be like, oh, you're the one who stole it, or did you steal this? The aunt never asks that. She never is like, oh, you're a bad kid. She never does that. Even when the girl runs away, this aunt, like, goes out and finds her, is like, oh, I'm so happy you're safe. Like, she doesn't care at all what the kid did or why she ran away. She's like, oh, I'm just happy you're safe, and I want to take you home so you can stay safe as well. And I really like that about this book. So, it's called A Constellation of Roses, by the way. So I read those 3 books in the first week of July. And then I finished Invention of Solitude on July 23rd. And that one, okay, so this book I started in one of my classes during the winter semester, and then, like, we only had to read half of it for class. And so I was like, oh, I should probably finish it. So that's what I went to do when I started this, and it was on my TBR for July. Haha, July. That's what it was on. It was on my TBR for July. And I liked it a lot. Very good. Good vibes. Good time. But it's just, like, and it has a lot of very, like, thought-provoking things, especially when it comes to, like, memories and how you remember things and how you absorb information and go back to things and forget things. I liked it. It's just, it was like an English major book. Like, it was one that's like, this one is meant to be thought-provoking, and I am not in a thought-provoking mood. I really just wanted to read my fun fantasy books. Haha, I made 2 extra bubbles. We're gonna just color those in. Or put stickers! Yes, I got an idea. Okay. Right? Let me double check my bubbles real quick. 13, 14, 15, 16. 34. I have 3 extra bubbles. Okay, 3 extra bubbles. We got some stickers to stick down on top of these bubbles. I was just kind of going a little harder than I should have zoomed out. Anyway, Invention of Solitude. Very thought-provoking. I wasn't in a thought-provoking book mood. Like, how do I explain this? Let me use that. I like reading those books that are like, oh, let's have some deeper meaning. Let's feel those thoughts and kind of get in this mode of, like, actually thinking about things in depth and stuff. But I just I like those books, and I like analyzing books and being like, oh, let's find the meaning of it. But I just sometimes have those days where I'm like, I need my fantasy books. Like, I guess that's kind of what puts me in reading slumps, is when I'm reading those books, like, as much as I love them. Like, I love Shakespeare, I love Frankenstein, Charles Dickens, and, like, all that stuff, but it's just, like, if I am not in a good enough mood to, like, just focus on thought-provoking stuff and finding meaning in it, I'm gonna give up on the book. So Invention of Solitude, it took me forever to read because I was kind of bored and stuff. So that was me. I'll put that book there. I'm gonna take this cute mug, pop it right here. Okay, that should work. We'll color these dark green, and then color the background light green. Well, it's dying on me. That's weird. So all the ink is on the other end. But I love my thought-provoking books. One of the books on my July TBR was Indivisible, and I liked it. I had the intention to annotate it, and I had my cute sticky notes, my transparent sticky notes and stuff. I was like, I'm gonna annotate this book so good, but it took a lot out of me to annotate it, and the story itself is also super emotional, kind of overwhelming in some ways. So I didn't really get through that one as much. And I think the books that I kind of pick each month that are oh, these are not, I'm not just here for the story, I'm here for more, I gotta make sure that I pick only a couple, one or two, because I will not get through them that well. On that topic, there was one book that I picked it because I was like, oh, this looks interesting. Olivia reads a latte. She recommended it. It's called House of Leaves. And I was very excited to read it. It looked weird. And I like weird books with wacky formats and not your typical read that you can read straight through. You gotta pay attention because you can't trust the narrator and all that jazz. So I like those books a lot. So I was working on House of Leaves, but it takes so much out of me to just get through a couple pages because there's so many little annotations to go with it, and I was like, okay, and I want to make sure I understand what's going on, and some annotations would just be the narrator's tangents, and sometimes the book itself, the storyline itself would go on its own tangent, and I'm like, okay, weird tangent. I know this is important, but it's kind of just a bunch of random facts that I'm struggling to get through. So those kind of took me a bit longer, and House of Leaves kind of held me back because I was like, oh, I want to finish this one because it's also a library book. So that's one of them that kind of held me back and made it hard to get a lot of reading done. Also, what also slowed down my reading for July is at my work, we'd have a point where we needed to get laundry done, and so my boss would just drop me off at the laundry area and be like, hey, I'll just leave you here to be productive, get things done. And I would be pretty productive and stuff, but there'd come a point where I'm like, okay, I can't do this much anymore. I'm very tired, and I kind of get bored of reading because it'd just be 2 hours straight. And I'm like, I like reading, but I do it in small amounts. I do reading sprints and stuff. That's my type of reading. Oh, I needed a black pen for today, so I can write the day and all that jazz. And then he also stopped that I don't have to go and do laundry anymore, so there's no more sitting there for 2 hours just reading. So I haven't read as much anymore. And with the semester ending, and I had a lot of family visit and just a bunch of crazy plans. I'm sorry, that was really out of the way. I gotta keep up with that, sorry. I am one short. I need to add a circle. I am really bad at counting today, guys. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm gonna go right here. I'm a little all over the place, guys. I am so sorry. been a little hectic recently. Family's been in town doing lots of crazy things. Literally like every day and stuff. It's kind of losing my mind. Gonna slow down, gonna chill. We're gonna chill. This is stream, this is chill vibes. Okay. But I do like the way this turned out. All my lovely bubbles. And then I'll just kind of, I might take like just a green marker. I could do this two ways. And you guys could too if you're following along. You could take a green marker and just write in how many pages you read. Or you could color it in and then write in how many pages you read. And then the ones not colored in are the ones days you didn't read anything. If you guys do keep track of your pages. But yeah. Okay. And since we use these two colors for this page, we're gonna retire them and pick a new set of green markers for this next page. Honest reads and okay. I'm taking these two greens are gonna kind of be my go-to pens for the month, so I'm gonna set those aside. We're gonna do this green. I'm gonna try you. And, oh, I forgot! Haha, I know what I'm doing. That bad boy. A tiny little highlighter. And that green. Cool. Now this page will follow kind of the theme of my other pages, which has a bookcase type border. When I was younger, in one of the houses I've lived in, we did have green bookcases, so I think this is cute, reminiscent, quite fitting. We're gonna do the highlighter green. Yeah. I like, okay, quick stationary talking, real quick. I love seeing these cute, tiny, miniature highlighters. Okay, so I'm really short. I love short, small things. Like mini brands, if you guys ever heard of those, like just miniature versions of name brand items, 10 out of 10. My favorite. Any other like mini versions of anything, my favorite. So I like mini highlighters, but I also hate them because they're annoying to hold and use. Like, I don't know, it's just a little hee hee, because it's a little annoying in my mind, but they're cute. But yeah. That was my little tangent on highlighters. So I am going to use up this highlighter in hopes that it may run out sooner rather than later. So I kind of can get rid of it. And I'm not just going to toss it because I have to use things to the fullest. Because that's how my brain works. Color. So July was a busy month, not a month for reading for me. I am having high hopes that August will be better because it's kind of an empty month for me. I don't have much I'm doing. So I'm hoping to get a lot of reading in. And like, I'm especially hoping because I need to make sure, because like I'll just chill at home all day because I work at night, so I got like the whole day to chill, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to be like, okay, you don't have to bullet journal all day or watch TV. You should read, because that was my main habit. Is like, I'm out of school, I don't want to I only want to do the things I want, so I'm kind of like in a follow the vibes of the day mood, but I also know there are still things to get done, and I do want to read these books, so maybe, because there is one book that is coming out at the end of August that I really want to get. I just gotta convince my husband to let me get it at the end of August. Or pre-order it, because it'll be cheaper. But I could do something where like, oh, I have to read this many books off my TBR, and then I'm allowed to get that book. Because my TBRs this month for August is a good mix of books that I own and library books that I have. I really like this light green. It's kind of crazy. Okay. That was wild. That took a while. Okay, I do have some stickers. Just have the busy day stickers left. This one says read in green. So what is this one? This one has nice boxes that I'll color. Peter Pan, do. Such a great day. Love the priority reading. Okay. Just wanted to review these. I'm gonna just put read and read. One at top, one at bottom. To use up these stickers. Put the gold one at the bottom. You guys can't see it very well, but I promise you it says read. That one you can see better, but this one's just a gold version of it. And these are from, I think, the Student or Teacher Happy Planner sticker pack. I think it's the student because this one looks better. It says homework, test, read, study. So yeah. Okay. So as I go through these months read, and I put them in here, I am also going to be showing off those books and talking about them as well. Okay. First things first is this book. It is called A Winter's Promise, and I got this on our anniversary at Barnes & Noble, so it's a new one in my collection. It is a fantasy book. So I'm excited about that. It's a thick boy. Let's see how many pages. Don't read the pages, guys. $4.90. Okay. And basically what I'm doing right here is every 25 pages I just do the number and then a dash. You guys can't see it very well, but 25-50-75. And so as I read, I'll highlight how far I am into the book. And then one thing that kind of helps me get reading, even if I am in a slump, is to kind of read it in 25-page increments. Because then I'm getting further enough ahead that I could get invested in it, or at least I'm getting farther in the book even if I'm still not as much in a reading mood. So I find these 25-page increments very helpful. And I end it at $4.90 because that's how many pages are in the book. So I don't know much about the plot. I don't remember it. But I know it's highly fantasy, and most of this is a little review and a couple reviews here. It's just like a lot of world building and characterization, so I'm excited about that. And I can just read the synopsis for you guys. Ophelia possesses two special gifts, a talent for seeing into an object's past and the ability to travel through mirrors. Her peaceful existence on Anima is interrupted when she is promised in marriage to the Taciturn Thorn, a member of a powerful clan from a cold and distant ark, upon in a dangerous game that will have far-reaching consequences for her entire world. Ophelia must navigate the lies and machinations of her fiancé's clan in order to survive in the first installment of the internationally best-selling Mirror Visitor series. So, I guess it's popular and all that jazz, so it's fantasy. I'm excited. Seems like there's a good romance that may involve like enemies to lovers, so kind of excited about that. Very excited, actually. Not just kind of holding other books. The next book on this list is Indivisible, which I started last month. I just didn't get very far. So let's pop up. I am on page 107. And so if I've already started a book and I'm like continuing it, instead of starting at 25 and like where I should get through the book, I'm going to start at the page I'm at, which is 107. And this has 389. This book I've liked so far. It's heartbreaking a lot. It's getting me in the feels, which I think is part of its purpose. How many? 389. Okay. So Indivisible. I do want to show you guys, because I've been annotating it, how I've been doing it, so there may be spoilers on the words, so don't pay attention to the words on these things. Just like talking about it. So this is kind of like stuff that I'm like looking at, plot points that I'm looking at throughout the whole book, is how I've been annotating. And then I have each of these little markers tells me where an annotation is. So these are my highlighter sticky notes. Let's see what else I got. This one has a transparent sticky note, and I've highlighted lines and kind of put questions around it, things I want to talk about, because I want to use this in my classroom one day. This one I kind of put marks around a word to focus on. So I want to use, I hopefully as a teacher one day want to teach this book. So I'm trying to annotate it in the way I would as a teacher, and hopefully as time progresses I'll be able to add more annotations, be like, okay, these are things I want to focus on as a teacher. These are literary devices, rhetorical devices I want to talk about. I know this thing, it's not ethos, it's like pathos? I think it's pathos. Pathos is the rhetorical device for kind of making something more emotional to convince you of their argument, so I think this uses a lot of pathos in it. And I can talk about that when I use it. This next one, it was also on my July TBR. I just never even started it, and it is called Planted. So this is more of a spiritual book, personal growth type of thing. It's just kind of like, it's a big flappy book. I don't know how much you guys like reading, but there's like a perfect size, and I've seen other booktubers talk about it, like there's a perfect size for paperbacks where they're nice and big and floppy, and they'll kind of like lay open really well. So I do want to talk. Oh, there's a notes section. I'm gonna be going through that. So it kind of goes to 183. Okay, it's not too long. And I'll probably read through some of the notes and stuff. So yeah. Looks like it'll be quick and easy. Hopefully I'll be able to not only start this book, but also finish it this month and stuff. Okay. Those 3 books, these are the ones that I own that I am going to be reading this month, hopefully. This next half of my TBR are the library books that I currently have that I plan to read in August and are due at some point in August. And I'm going to add them to this page. I know I have like library reads page like right here, but I also want to put them here because I kind of go to this page more so. And I like marking things, so if I mark it in 2 places, it's like double the serotonin. So, first things first, the Dark Hills Divide. Now, let me explain something. I don't know why, I don't know how, but I recognize this book really well. But I've read the back. I've even like looked at these ones, like this book, specifically Into the Mist, recognize it super well. This book looks familiar, like there's no tomorrow. But I don't know if I actually read it. And I have no memory of ever reading it. So, I was, I was just sitting in class one day and I was like, hey. I was sitting in class, someone brought it in, and I was like, why do I know this book? Is it like some book from my childhood that I read and forgot? I don't know. But I just knew that this had to be a book I read because I recognize it. And I don't know why. Especially this Into the Mist one. This one I recognize the most. But this cover I do recognize, and it kind of reminds me of the Spiderwick Chronicles because I was obsessed with those. And this may have been the other book that I got into after it. I'm not sure. So I got it because I need to figure out why I know this book so well. Or why it's just like in my head is like, read it. I must. So yeah, that's me. And I'm pretty sure it's like a fantasy middle grade, by the way. And it looks like it'll probably be a quick and easy read. Next book is House. No, not a house. 1,000 Steps into Night. Here we go. I saw this at the library. It just looked interesting. Why did it look interesting? Oh, Gods, Monsters, and Humans. 10 out of 10. Oh. Basically, the main character's cursed. This is just in the synopsis that I'm currently reading. Main character is cursed to turn demon, and now she's on a trip to reverse it, so. I'm excited. It looks interesting. How many pages you got? Keep going? Okay. You're still going. Acknowledgements. 370. Okay. Ooh, look at that. That looks fun. That's $3.70. That's what it says. So it's a library book. Looked interesting. Gonna give it a shot. Cause I do have some books when I go to the library. I have some TBR books that I'm gonna like. This is a little TBR list right here that we'll talk about later. I have some books that I like put on hold for when I go to the library, but then like I really like just browsing and picking the ones I want and looking for anything that looks interesting. Okay, this next one, it is a little one, so I'm pretty sure I'll be able to finish it this month. It's called The Color of the Sky is the Shape of the Heart. Kicked out of school. So she comes from Japan and she's kind of on the run. Okay. Looks interesting. I'm just going to put in here as The Color of the Sky because that's a long title. It looks like a cute little quick read. So, we'll see how it goes. And it was translated, so I don't know what it was translated by. Might have been from, because the author is Korean born in Japan, so it may be Korean, it may be Japanese. And the translator goes from Japanese to English, so it was probably in Japanese. And I have this English copy, so good to know. Okay, 158. Nice. I could read this in a day. Maybe I do that. Oh, I could do like a mini readathon. That'd be fun. Okay. Just like a quick read in a day type thingy. For myself mostly. Maybe I'll post on Instagram while I'm doing it. Who knows? Let me know if you guys want to do like reading sprints or like a readathon at all, either for its like own part of stream or that type of thing, or on Instagram. Let me know, and maybe we can do that. That seems fun. Okay, next book is called Forest Born, and it looks very pretty indeed. So she works under the king, best friends with the prince, and they may or may not have a disease that is making them sick, and they're looking for the cure. That looks cool. So, we'll get into this. Another fantasy. I like getting my fantasy books. They make me happy. 351. Okay. So most of these are about average size, around 300 or so. Okay, this is the last one, and I started it this month, and it's kind of been slowing me down, and I'm gonna hopefully do some fantasy books and then continue with this one, and I'm kind of getting more into it. About 100 pages in and stuff, is House of Leaves. This is a big boy. Now this one's a little tricky when it comes to the page count because you gotta read a lot of the appendixes and notes in the back. So I'm gonna see what I did on my library spread, which was 662. So that's kind of what I'll be going for on here. Basically, I'll explain a quick thing of House of Leaves. best I can. Is the main guy, essentially, he's like, his friend's neighbor died, and they found all these documents, and they're talking about this thing called the Navidson record. And basically, he's like going through them, and is like, why is he talking about this film that doesn't exist? So he's kind of like going through it, and he references a lot of other things, or like people who've talked about the film. So he's like, why is this random guy talking about this film? Also, this random guy talking about this film is also blind, so he's kind of like solving the mystery of it. And as he's going through this same record, weird things are happening to him. And he noticed there were some weird things happening around the death of his of the guy who had the documents originally. So he's kind of curious. And there's a lot going on here. I've been like, it's been a killer to get through, because I'm like, okay, gotta pay attention to everything, because everything matters and everything leads to something, and it's a lot to take in. So I don't know if I want to finish it this month, but I might just like, it may be the last thing I read this month, and I read everything else first. What did I get to with this? I'm going to set this down, because this is huge. Okay, I did 662. Okay. On the bright side though, like, some of these pages back here, I have already finished reading, because they're part of the appendixes, and I've already gone through and read them. So I think it'll be good to have this method, because then I can highlight these and be like, okay, I did finish like 100 of these back pages already. And that type of thing. So yeah. Now, there is one final book on this list. Oh, I wanted to use these stickers more. Okay. So we're going to take this one. This heart one matches the most. And we're going to kind of draw a line here and put some things, more things down. Because there's a book that does not come out until, I think, August 30th. And it is called The Final Gambit, which is the third book in the, what's it called? It's not, The Hawthorne Legacy is the second book. The first book is The Inheritance Games, which is very much like Knives Out, but a little less murdery. So I'm going to pop this lovely green sticker in here as kind of something I want to read. As in, the day comes out. And let's put something else in here surrounding this book. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 books that I want to read this month. And I'm going to say if I get through 4 of them, because I don't think I'm going to get through all of these. If I get through 4 of them, I will let myself get the Final Gambit. And if I finish these earlier and I can pre-order it, then the book will be cheaper. Because I know, and once I get my hands on the Final Gambit, I will probably read it in a day. Because that's what happened with the Hawthorne Legacy, the second book. I got it from the library and I like binge read it because I was just so excited. Oh, I want to use these stickers. They say reading list. So I'm going to put one on either side and color them because they're cute. Oh, I love them. I'm gonna make them this nice dark green. Heck yeah. But yeah, that will be my goal. My reading goal. Read at least half of these books, and then I can order the final Gambit. And that will hopefully persuade me to get through more of these. I'll probably just read the shorter ones first. But you know what? Hey, I'm reading, and that's okay. I think what also pushed me to read more in the past months, or before this, or in June more, was there was a summer reading program that started in June. Yeah, it started in June, so I kind of read a lot for those. And then I kind of got ahead and slowed down for the prize 3. I still got the 3rd prize. I got some goodies, and I got to enter a raffle, so. And they're raffling around like 4:30 or 6 tonight, so I'll probably get an email or a call saying if I won. I hope I do. But yeah. Okay, one more thing to add to this little bottom half. Sorry, that's sideways. Is my spiritual reading for the month of August. Okay. So we're just gonna put a nice big title, Come Follow Me. Now most of this reading I do with my husband. We just kind of read a chapter a day or something, so. So each week it has different readings, and so I'm kind of separating them by week. So one reading, a box to color in, the next week's reading, and all the boxes for each of those. There's a lot, but it'll be fine. Because I think these are all pretty short. Oh, this is a lot. I might have to dip onto the next page. Yeah. So I'm just going to draw an arrow and say next page for the last week. Okay. Now this page will have a new color palette, unfortunately. Yeah. Because that's just how I do it. Because I gotta keep changing things up. We're gonna do you, and we'll try this. It's a gel pen. It's a new one that I got. So this one will also have the colored edges, which we're going to use this for. This one's a little bit more neon than the last one. And guys, I'm getting near the end of this notebook, and I'm very excited. Because I think once this one's done, because this is kind of my first reading journal, and I haven't been the biggest fan of it. Like, there's been a lot of experimenting in here, and like, how I would have done my reading journal is like the most important pages in the very front, like my yearly trackers and stuff. So, I'm gonna, hopefully, if I'm lucky, I will finish this reading journal at the end of this year, and then next year I can start a brand new notebook with all my yearly trackers at the beginning, and I can set it up how I want and make sure everything looks good, because I've done a lot of experiments with like how I've done my monthly pages set up. I've done some experiments with monthly pages, how I set up my personal library, what pages are important to me, if I want a TBR page and stuff, how I track the books I've read throughout the year. So I hopefully will be able to do something brand new, fresh next year. And since we're heading into August, it looks like I have just enough pages. So I can do September, October, November, December and stuff with some pages to spare. So I can play around with it and all that jazz. So we're going to take this out. Sorry, I'm kind of playing with my stickers. We're definitely using these boxes on the spread, which means when you pull out another color, because I want to color the whole box green. Probably, might use that. Probably not. Probably not. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Let's set this that way. So we're just going to put priority right here, because that's more reading. We're going to write "Come Follow Me." Maybe I won't use this one just yet. We'll see. Okay. Neon gel pen. Are you going to work for me? Let's do the last little bit. Can't read this well, but let's try it. And that's kind of bad, but I'll live. Gonna kind of be it for Come Follow Me. So we're gonna take this kind of darker polka dotted washi and kind of create that line. Now, as much as I like these gel pens, I think I'll just reserve them for writing on darker stuff. Like this neon green would be great for like I think in October one year, Amanda H. Lee did a glow in the dark theme, and I think those pens would be perfect for it. So that will be then. So I think I'll be okay for now. But in the future, I'm probably not going to touch these gel pens unless it's glow in the dark. Now, this next half of the page is going to be a TBR page. So we're going to write TBR. Wow. Now I have like, because I use my King Art brush tip pens a lot, and they have a more sturdy brush tip compared to these Gen Crafts. They're very like thin and long, so they're kind of harder for me to use. So, not the biggest fan, but we'll live with it. Now for this, I'm gonna do something fun here. I am gonna take another lighter color. Yes, I do. And take this lime green, and I'm gonna kind of split the page, and on this half, I'll do a bunch of boxes where I can write in like books on my TBR, and on this side I'll do just lines to also write in stuff. So I did use this in a different journal setup that will be on Instagram in a couple days. It's a project setup, so it has boxes on one side, lines on one side, so that you can kind of write it in multiple ways. So yeah, we're gonna pull out my ruler here though. We're gonna take a look at this. So we're gonna kind of go here, and we are going to line up the first sticker. So when I'm making these lines, I can kind of see where they go. And basically, that's not working how I want. Ah! But I guess I'll go with it a little slower. Yeah, there we go. Basically, you highlight every other line. This works best with mild liners. Can't speak. But I do not currently have those with me. I use that in a different spread. So these lines are going to be messy, but that's okay. And after I have made this TBR, we're going to fill it out together. So if you guys do have book recommendations you want to throw in my TBR, or books that I'll eventually look into getting and reading, go ahead and put those in the chat now. I would love to see them. And I actually am going to switch out to a new pen. And I'm going to double check that I can write with it. Yes. Because I don't like the gel that much. So, this is where this side will finish. Take this. And we're going to color in a box. Yeah. Currently, so I have kind of two TBR lists. I'm starting to kind of put more of the books in this journal and like first see if the library has them and if I can read them there and see if I like them. But then I also have an Amazon wish list that is a big TBR as well. Ah. And yeah, we'll put that one up there. And take this green. So I have this Amazon wish list that is also like a TBR that's kind of private for me, and slowly as books get bought off my normal Amazon wish list, I will add those TBR books there. Kind of mad that I'm covering that, but that's okay. Okay, and then we're going to take these cute green stickers and color on them with these like 2 extra markers I have. Real quick and just pop them in. And this acrylograph is actually not showing up as well as I hoped. Haha! Not using that. We're just going to take these then. We'll just go with the flow. Special delivery. I like having stickers you can color in some ways, just because then like if I need it to match a theme, I can make it match automatically. So that's great for me. So I really like these ones. I got them in an L.I.L crate box long ago, so a couple years ago, so I don't know if you'll be able to get these again, unless they make them again. Cute. And then we'll do a nice little stack of books right there. And because I want more shades of green, I don't care. I'm just gonna color these in however I want. And let's do a book. Cute. Okay. So there's that spread. And now what we get to do, we're going to take this pen and we are going to start adding in books to my TBR. If you guys do have recommendations, I'll take any recommendations. Fiction, nonfiction, historical, fantasy, science fiction, poetry, drama, classics, you name it, give it to me. I like getting book recommendations. Actually, this is huge. I'm kind of in the way. So, here's list number 1, and we're going to just start writing these in. Okay. Glad they're kind of showing up in here. I can see them really well on my end, especially the neon ones. It doesn't look like I read anything on stream, but I promise I did. Okay, so we got this set done. Now we're putting someone here. So I finished this set, this list. I do have 2 more. So I'm gonna take them both off this thing, and I'm gonna start with the smaller one because then I can toss the page, and then I'll see what I can add from this one, and maybe I'll make another TBR page in the future, but probably not today. I got a lot going on. One thing about this theme that I liked is how, I guess, simple it was. Because it's just green, so I'm grabbing all my green stationery. I did take a struggle with the stickers because I had to look through all my stickers. I'm like, okay, where are all my green stickers? And will I actually use these? And how will I use these? And that type of stuff. So that took a little bit, but it was kind of worth it. And I think it's pretty easy, like if you don't know what to do for a month's theme, you can just kind of pick your color or your favorite color and do it. So And I think it's just like a good way because then I can kind of see all my greens and how they go together and which one's like, this one does not look teal to me on its own, but on this green page it looks very teal, and so does this pen, even though it's like a dark green in my mind, so it's kind of interesting. Should have got my nails done to match because I got them done recently, about the time I made my August spread. But I got them done like this dark blue, and they're chipping off, but these fingers kind of look okay. Probably should have though, like, got them to match. Whatever. I'm messy. I make mistakes. And my bullet journal is kind of messy like me, so it's fine. Okay. So, got to here. So I think if I just stood this page, I probably would have used it all, but that's okay. I have these couple more. I'll probably do another page in the future for me, but let's kind of do a cute little flip through. Clean up a bit, push things off to the side so you guys can see. So, this page looks empty now. It will be full later, but this will be my page a day tracker, so how many pages I read each day. There's a bubble for each day of the month, and I'll just write it in and color in the bubble for funsies. This page right here is kind of my reading list for the month. So, Winter's Promise, Indivisible, and Planted are books that I currently own that I intend to read. The Dark Hills Divide, 1,000 Steps into Night, The Color of the Sky, Forest Born, and House of Leaves are library books that I have. I'm borrowing currently that I want to read. And then I have a goal that if I read 4 out of these 8 books, then I can let myself kind of buy the final gambit. And then down here is more of my spiritual reading, and it continues up here in a very unreadable neon fluorescent. That's what it says on here. It says basic with a Z instead of S, fluorescent Colorelli gel pens. So that's that brand. Hard to see, but it's there. Finish that up here. And then a lovely TBR list of books that if I finish these or I need something new to read, these are the books that I kind of want to look for at the library in the future. So that is that for my August reading journal spread. So I'm going to quickly shift some things around and I'll keep talking while I do so. Don't head out yet because it is time for our journaling prompt. I was about to say challenge. That is not the case. We are doing a journaling prompt and that type of thing. So, I don't know if anybody's new here, but basically at the end of each stream, I will give a journaling prompt and like 10-ish minutes of silence for you guys to journal. In the month of July, I have also created a month of prompts. I've been kind of trying to do different prompts every day and that type of thing. And I have really enjoyed this kind of challenge. Here, let's show it. So, here's my month of journaling prompts. It was kind of sunset themed to go with my July theme. So I have a different prompt for each day, and you guys get the exclusive flip through before I post that, I think tomorrow. So I've been kind of doing those. There have been some days where I didn't do the prompt, and instead I decided to kind of talk about my own thing. Like this line here indicates that I'm just talking about my day and I'm done with the prompt, or that type of thing. So this line here, more talk about my day and such. So I've been doing a month of journaling prompts. This day I ignored the prompt and stuff just because I need to write about my day. I really like this month because I've been able to kind of, I've enjoyed journaling and having this time to kind of sit down, but I've also enjoyed being able to just kind of sit and write because brain dump right here. Like sometimes my brain just needs to empty, and that's what I did. And kind of be creative. These next couple pages, this is our anniversary, so I kind of just did like a pretty one, and I didn't really write about the day just because, or this one's more of a list. This one was also a super busy day, so I did a cute little ocean design because I could. So that's kind of how it's been. This one I just stuck this cute picture in of Christ and stuff, so that's kind of how I've been doing it. And I think I think my goal in August is I've kind of added journaling prompts to my monthly to-do list, like my monthly habits. So I do intend I intend to keep journaling a lot and working on those prompts, whether you guys like it or not. And I may or may not post them on Instagram. I think my plan is I'm going to get a cute jar, decorate it, put a bunch of journaling prompts inside, and then like as I journal through the month, I'll pull them out and maybe I'll post it on my Instagram story like, hey, look, I journaled today and this is what I journal about, and you guys can too if you want. So yeah, who knows. Either way, let's go through my supplies for today's journaling prompt. And let me actually get that journaling prompt pulled up for you guys. Haha, let me do this. One sec. New window. Okay, this isn't working how I hoped. But I will put the prompt in the chat. Let's go see what it is before I go over this. Sorry, I'm having a lot of technical difficulties today. It's been kind of crazy, I will say that. It's been a real crazy day, so. So I wasn't as prepared as I wanted to be. So we are just kind of going with the flow. So today's journaling prompt is talk through or about a rocky relationship. This could either be in a relationship you currently have or just like a rough moment, and maybe how you could talk about how you got through it if you want to stay on the positive side, or kind of how you got through it. Or you can talk about a relationship you can also talk about family member relationships, friends, etc., and maybe something you're struggling with that you want to talk to them about and just haven't yet. So today I have this color palette. It's like a green, purple, and navy, and they're King Arts. And I know this is kind of like a yearly, like there's a different set of stickers for each month. I'm going to be using these cute March ones. I'm going to try and avoid the lucky St. Patrick's Day ones and the ones that say March, but I like the bikes and flowers and stuff, so I'm going to use them on this page, and my normal usual pen for it. So I will stop talking. I'll let you guys journal, and yeah, I'll talk to you in about like 10 minutes. Welcome back, guys. You're still on the journaling vibes. Keep going strong. Do what you gotta do. I'm gonna do a quick chat through what I did here, and then I'll end the stream with some final announcements. Okay, so did lots of decorating because the past couple days I've already kind of gotten into this kind of talking through a rocky relationship and stuff and working on it. So I kind of repeated some things here and changed my focus to, instead of kind of focusing on how I could fix this relationship and not just me fix it, but like make it better, because I have a lot of stressful and bad memories with this person. And so I'm like, okay, you need to put yourself in good environments and create good memories and kind of hold on to those and write them down. And then I kind of put here in the middle, have forgiveness, patience, and love with you while you're with this person to kind of get through it, because I will nitpick at this person a lot and all the little things they do, and I know I need to kind of work on not doing that and just being like, okay, they're human, it's fine, like, chill out. So that's kind of what I talked about here. Tried to stay on the good vibes thing instead of just dwelling on the bad sides of our rocky relationship and stuff. And I'm not going to name the person just in case they are watching stream. It just shows me that only one person is watching, so I doubt it's them, but just in case. It doesn't show me who's watching. But yeah. So that's what I did there. Final announcements and stuff. So if you guys want to see the full flip through again of the month of journaling, I will post that on my Instagram tomorrow. My Instagram is also L.I.L's journaling. And what else will I do? You can also see my full August spread, like my monthly setup, and because you guys saw me create my readings journal setup, but you haven't seen my full monthly setup, and you guys gotta see that because it's super green. It's very fun and exciting. And I will keep you guys updated throughout the month and future streams of how my reading is going. I'll kind of post some stuff on Insta of where I'm at and what books I'm currently reading or finishing. And that type of stuff. My next stream is just going to be Saturday, August 6th, so the usual every Saturday thing. And I will be doing a Studio Ghibli themed watching spread. So, if you guys don't know, Studio Ghibli is kind of like the Disney of Japan in my mind. They create really good movies that are like super cute. They're just like nice and cozy ones. They make it like very romantic in that sense. So I like them, so I'm going to do a spread theme. It's going to be a difficult one, but I'm going to give it a shot for next stream. And go check out my Instagram for more journaling stuff, because it's always so much fun to show off what I do. And I also want to see what you guys do. So if you ever like recreate any of my spreads that I do on stream on Instagram, or if you do any of the journaling prompts as well, I would love to see your flip throughs as well, or the ones you've done. So just tag me on Instagram and stuff. If you do want to watch any more of my streams, all of them are on YouTube currently. They're also at L.I.L's journaling. You can just kind of search me up there on YouTube, and you'll see the same picture as I have for my Instagram here and there. So yeah, I think that's it for my announcements. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. You have a good time, and I will see you next Saturday. Bye!